Okay, hi Virgo. See the plan? You must stay strong in this plan. At least for until your birthday. Stay diligent in how compassionate you can be and to see how much you can withstand at this time. You will find freedom if you can learn to not hold on to things, hold grudges, if that's the kind of Virgo that you are. You also find that if there is a Leo in your life, they could be a very good person to talk with about some things. But you have to remember that they're only going to see it from their point of view. They could talk to you, but it really depends on the Leo. They might be able to show you the compassion too that you may need. Now, I think Mercury is in Pisces and will move to Aries by the 19th. I think by the 19th, you'll have some very clear-cut answers about what hasn't been working and maybe some new ideas to put forward. So whatever's being cut out of your life at this time, especially during between now and the 19th, excuse me, it's because there's something that you maybe are missing or haven't seen yet. There's so much more on the horizon, and the one thing about if you're going to talk to someone with Leo placements or someone who can't see beyond that wall either, will then bring you to this part of yourself or give you the support, right? You might get that support, but even if you find a somewhat of a doubt in where you want to go next or what next or where you see yourself going next, or wanting to take a leap of faith, you'll realize how much you've gained from this last experience. Because there can be trying times when especially when you, hold on 1 second, excuse me. Oh. Especially when you are just emptying out. It's not your favorite thing to feel all of these things for sure. But you're emptying out because for some of you, your intuition has been off. If your intuition is a little off, then the body needs a reset. You need a reset. Then there's probably things going on in your life where things can be less difficult or unable to for those who are unable to understand this time in your life, especially if there's an Aquarius. There's an Aquarius and a Sagittarius who have shown themselves. Let them keep showing themselves, showing their asses. They could have tried to take some kind of idea from you or something. That seems to be like you find that there's some sneaky things going on and you're now very aware of it. And you're not going to play it out like you used to. Maybe they were hoping for that. even with everything being cut out, some things, you still take a look down and realize all that you have. All you have to be grateful for, all that is possible. Doesn't mean it doesn't hurt. Doesn't mean you aren't revealed like what was important before. What needs some time and space. What needs no explanation at this time. Because if you allow these changes to move you from the inside out, you'll find that in the next month, you'll have so much more. Doesn't mean it doesn't hurt. Doesn't mean you wouldn't want to maybe get some vengeance. It's about how you perceive this time. If you perceive it as an attack on yourself, you could be even fighting your own ideas, but really you want to be clear and ready to step out into a place where you haven't been before in this place, in the way that you are now. You've learned a lot. And you've seen a lot of people fall on their face, including yourself from time to time. But now you realize authenticity, or this meaning of yourself, or whatever it is, these habits, these changes, they're a part of how you, hold on. They're a part of how you perceive what's happening. You're receiving a lot at this time, especially for the next couple of seasons. But this month it feels like everything's coming in all different directions, but it's one main point. You know, it affects everything. And it's closing up this cycle. And if you let yourself be, the answer or the reason or whatever it is that you're looking for will come to you. It might even show up. That was the bottom. As love, abundance, whatever you find love and abundance is in your life. Because you had hope for some certain things. You might have to drop some projects that you've done, or drop a different path that you thought you were going on. And then all of a sudden things change, shift. You didn't realize you've been being shown all along because there was some ego in the way. There was desire in the way. What you want was in the way. Like how you do things, getting from point A to point B to point C to point D was getting in the way. So reminding yourself now that this may not be the easiest. This may not be the cleanest. Actually, it's pretty of a clean cut. It doesn't feel that way though. But in a few months it will. Even by the end of the month for some of you, it moves that quickly. You have chances, you have support, you have love. You have a view of what your life can be like now that you've cut out all the things kind of stunting that. Right? We don't realize that these things are stunting us until they get cut out, and then we go through this whole process, and then we realize how much more our lives are. Your life is. How amazing this magnetism is drawn to you. how obvious it is that you've maybe been protecting yourself from even having what you want in full fulfillment. Even some of you may be surprised. Pisces season wants to give you everything that you need and what's good for you, but it also wants to take out everything you don't. And it requires a type of bravery from your heart and your mind and less rationalization. Because these are the same things. How would you know if you weren't this clear that this was right in front of you? You know, take the Four of Cups, for example. But that didn't come out because it's happening. And yes, it will take effort. But for the most part, you've already done all that. It's a time of closing, a time of opening, an expansion time. Pisces is right across from you, yes. Saturn is right across from you, yes. And that's why this is happening, but it's for your betterment. You know, Virgo? Love of yourself, love of who you are, being in self-care, not just promoting it or saying it, like doing it, actually doing it, and then be able to realize, like, oh, sitting here in this space, I can see it now. I can see where I've been shorting myself, thinking I have to work so hard. But really, you just have to put down everything that's been in your way. You know? It's gonna be okay. All of this is amazing. You got this, Virgo. See you next month.